Welcome to Arventa podcast, how to make your business structured. And today we have Liz at the podcast, and Liz has a fantastic marketing business. So we are to dive into great insights on how to do the email marketing. Liz, welcome, and give a couple of words about your business.
Thanks so much. It's great to connect with you. We were connected by Octavio, one of your past guests, who I have connected with recently, and I'm really enjoying kind of learning about his business journey. And when he recommended, you and I have a chat, we've already had a little bit of something off screen that I think is really indicative of what we'll have today. But my name is Liz Maguire. I'm the director of Litir Marketing, which is an email marketing consultancy for SMEs. So I help business owners use email marketing as a channel to grow their business and to get in touch with their communities.
That's fab. I have a tricky question to you, Liz. So, Liz, email marketing exists for decades, and it was extremely effective when only marketing was there. Then we had the invasion of social media, where it was a different channel to start communicating with the customers. Is email marketing still working, or is it dead?
A very good question. So I think, maybe I'm biased, but I think email marketing is alive and well. And I think kind of the nuance to that question is good email marketing working, and good email marketing does work. I spend a lot of my time, I deliver training facilitations through an organization called the Entrepreneurs Academy. We facilitate the Start Your Own Business programs with several local enterprise offices around the country. And I spend a lot of time talking to entrepreneurs. In April of this year, I think I did something like 10 sessions. So I think I spoke to almost 200 entrepreneurs who were starting their businesses. And a lot of the time when people are learning about their marketing channels, you said it there, social media has done a wonderful marketing job of sort of saying, hey, we're here, you need us. Need is the key word that social media has definitely fit itself in alignment with. You need to use social media. But email marketing is one of those, you said there, it's been around for decades. And I think when it's done well, it can work really well in partnership with your social media, with your offline marketing, with your in-person networking, with your website presence, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, no, the email's alive and well. It just has to be done right.
Okay, that's now even more intriguing. So, what is email done right? And especially, I'm interested if, for example, there are entrepreneurs that are watching us or listening to us, they might be curious. Okay, I have the email database which I scraped somewhere, and now I need to do some email marketing in order to reach out to my potential customers, not the
Mm-hmm.
warm audience that signed up on my newsletter on the website, but potential customers. So, and doing this with the cold email marketing, how
Mm-hmm.
hard it is today, and is there any tricks out there that people might know?
Yeah. So it's a great question. So one, you said there they have a scraped list, which is with GDPR, and you outlined it. You need to have a consent feature. So if you're using an ESP, so an email service provider, a MailChimp, a Klaviyo, an Arventa, whatever you might be using, you have to have a consent feature to have to hold someone's information. But if you're using email marketing as a cold marketing piece, so if you're getting someone's email from their website, or you might be using AI to kind of pull together a list of potential leads, and you're sort of sending out these cold emails, I would recommend pairing that with some personal outreach on other channels. So one of those can be LinkedIn. We see a lot of work going into LinkedIn Sales Navigator and etc. Um, as with any type of marketing, you want to have a couple different touch points. Some of the big no-nos that I find in cold marketing, cold email marketing would be, and it might seem like a no-brainer to some people, but it's important to say, some cold outreach have been sending automatic calendar invites. So people have been logging in and finding meetings scheduled into calendars that they didn't consent or approve to. That's a big no-no. There's another repetitive messaging. So I have a particular dislike of messages that are just kind of, hi, you haven't opened the last three, but here's another one in case you open this fourth one. And this is all cold email. And my least favorite one, I would say, with cold email, and it's unusual for me to be in the negative like this. I tend to be quite a positive person, but I did have an experience with someone who was outreaching to me. They were a carpet cleaning service, and they sent me a cold email that just said, hi Liz, I see you're in Dublin. We clean carpets in your neighborhood. I won't say where it was. I say we clean carpets in your neighborhood. We could come and do your office this afternoon. And I understood what the approach of the message was, except for the fact that I work from home and I'm a woman in business. And so I wrote them an email back and I said, I understand what you're trying to do here, but it's actually incredibly creepy for you to say that you could be at my house this afternoon. And I understand that you want to give the impression that you're available and all this sort of stuff, but like, let's put a little human layer onto this, that it is incredibly creepy to get a message that's like, we're in your area. We could be there. If you give us a WhatsApp, we could be there this afternoon. And I was like, So cold email, I think you have to have it in some partnership with other outreach points. And again, this goes to having a CRM. This goes to having some strategy other than throw it all at the wall. But newsletter type emails. So if you're moving from B2B or B2C and you're using a consent list and you're using a calendar and all that sort of stuff, there's different things that you can do down that path as well.
That's fab. And yeah, that sounds really creepy to have a situation like this. It's like, I'm watching you, I see you're home, I'm gonna come over, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I want just an email. So
yeah. I didn't love it. And it was just them trying, they were trying something. And listen, this from the business that you're in and you've been in, marketing, what this is. And sometimes you're just trying and you're sending stuff out. And I usually try to reply to things. I don't reply to cold emails, particularly because they've gone through a new habit of combing my website for testimonials. So I publish testimonials of who I've worked with. And there have been a new spate of AI generated cold emails that have referenced businesses I've worked with. And whenever I get them, I like to send, because I'm close with my clients, I like to send them an email and say, hey, just so you know, you're this person's, that you've never met before, you're this person's foot in the door to try and have a conversation with me. And they'll be like, I have no idea who this is. And I'm like, yeah, they saw your logo on my website. And they'll say to me, oh, I see you worked with, la, 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 and all this sort of stuff. So there's definitely some pieces that have to be finessed when you go with cold marketing.
Yeah, that's incredibly difficult for businesses to get something done through the cold emailing. So you need to warm up the audience, possibly when they see you somewhere on the social media, and then get like, hey, you probably have seen me on social media, which could be also a bit creepy because I'm stalking you now.
But it's there. And I'm a big believer in networking. So I mentioned Octavio. We met through a group called the Growth Network. That's a networking group. Every Friday, I do a networking newsletter on LinkedIn called Noteworthy Networking. I'm a big believer in getting into a room, having a chat. We were chatting, before we started recording, and I was saying, we should get together and have a bottle of wine. The stuff that happens over a one-to-one conversation, if it's a cup of coffee or it's seeing someone in the same networking space a couple times, that trust builds more so. And you're going to see, I see in my business, because I'm a B2B service provider, so I work with other entrepreneurs, I see a heck of a lot of entrepreneurs who come to me because they've either been referred by someone I've worked with, or they've seen my content on social media. They've met me once or twice before, and they can tell I'm genuine and that I'll work with them.
Yeah, that's a brilliant point. So trust building through different channels before you start doing business with somebody, and it could be in person or in social media, is extremely important. And Liz, you mentioned the importance of having the CRM system for small businesses. Why do you find it so important, and why it's necessary also in today's digital world?
So I don't know about you, but I have the very human mistake of thinking that I will remember everything. So I might say to myself, oh, I need to get these 3 things done today, and I'll remember those 3 things. And then by midday, I've forgotten 2 of them. And that's the nature of the human brain. A CRM, when you're running your own business, if you're going to take your business to that professional level, right? Because entrepreneurs, we start our businesses, we're bootstrapping, we're doing everything kind of the cheapest way we can do it. We're gluing things together. We're making it all work. But a CRM is really where you need to invest, because you need to be able to track the conversations you're having with clients. You need to be able to see, oh, I haven't emailed that person in 3 weeks. That's kind of out of my regular loop. I need to get back in touch with them. Or I got in touch with them. Their feedback was, hey, it's not in the budget right now. Come back to me in 6 months. And you can keep your note system in there. You can keep your you can move all the noise from your brain into a digital tool that will help you. And often as entrepreneurs, we think, okay, well, I need to do the most cost-effective version of this. But sometimes the most cost-effective versions are actually just slow leaks on your budget because you're
most expensive later.
Or the most expensive, right? So you're either doing something that someone has packaged to you as €10 a month and it will solve all your problems, or they'll package it to you as €1,000 a month and it will do all these wonderful things and whatever that looks like. But if you don't know what benefits it has for your business, you might be, that €10 could be an easy direct debit that you're not noticing, but after a year, that's €120. And when you're spending time building your own business and you're bootstrapping in the first 3 years, a lot of people say, oh, what's €100? What's €200? For small businesses, that's a lot.
But also sometimes you can start using the tool that is absolutely free and gives you all the beautiful features. But that's at the point you start to scale. It
Yes.
tells you, and this is what you need to pay. And then you're like, oh, and now I need to transfer everything. So I think you're absolutely right with the point. Think ahead, couple of steps. Be strategic when you select different tools, because always you may need to transfer the data from one tool to the other, which could be, stressful, cost effective, really, in some cases, and being super expensive from moving one tool to the other. And they might, and also having the disconnected tools as well. But I like the point you told that, I think I could remember different things. And that was a flashback straight away to my first business, where we had 5 customers and I would remember everything about every single customer, then 10 customers, everything. And then we turned over to 20 and 30. I was like, okay, I need a CRM system. I don't remember everything anymore.
This is it. So there's so many, right? I just finished a job in the last couple weeks, and I was working virtually with them. But I mentioned before we came on, I mentioned that I live in Portlaoise and I go into Dublin a couple times a week for meetings. So I finished the job with them. So I went in the other day and I dropped them a thank you card and a gift to just say it was great working with you. And that connection is what you want to remember, because that is the piece where you go, okay, and I'm not shy about this. I send Christmas cards to my clients every year. I've been in business 3 years. Every Christmas they get a Christmas card from me, whether we've done one, I do an hour clinic. So if we do an empowered email marketing clinic and we do that in the spring, by Christmas, you're going to get a Christmas card from me. If we do retainer work throughout the year, if I've been working with you for 2 years already, you get a Christmas card from me. My business is called Litir Marketing. And it's all about the letter. It's all about connection and authenticity and communication. And that piece of remembering everything about everybody, I wish I could say that I knew their addresses and I knew their kids' names and I knew all these things. But that's where you need to have a system in place where it's not inauthentic to have a note system. You can still send that in-person communication, but you can remember, okay, we talked about, they just got a new puppy. So I'm going to put that into this piece, because that's not inauthentic. That's actually more authentic than just being generic.
That's absolutely brilliant tip. And just to finish up our chat, I want to, you gave a lot of different advice, and I want to focus on one more. What would be the top advice for the small business companies in Ireland, or maybe entrepreneurs, startups that are just starting off? What would be your top advice for them on operations or marketing or something?
Take the Start Your Own Business course. So the local enterprise office offers a Start Your Own Business course. Every county has them. They run them several times a year. They're 8 weeks long. They're about 24 hours, 8 sessions at 3 hours apiece. I have facilitated them. I've taken them before I became a trainer. I was on a Start Your Own Business, not knowing that would happen. The Start Your Own Business courses cover financial, they cover legal, they cover all of these really keystone pieces. And it's 24 hours that you are investing in your business and you're taking that time. And the piece I'll say on it is that I have had the privilege to review business plans separately to my work as a trainer and to the local enterprise. I've looked at business plans for different businesses I've mentored, different things like that. And the business plans that really stand out are the business plans that can tell me who their competitors are, who their, the accounting systems that they need, or the CRM, or whatever they're gonna put into place. And the reason I emphasize that is because if you're going for grants and applications, you need to have a good business plan. So to have a good business plan, the first investment I would recommend making is the Start Your Own Business course with the local enterprise office.
Absolutely fantastic advice. And to add to this advice is
Yes.
invest 24 hours, guys, to have the information consolidated and delivered to you in a structured way.
Ooh.
But there is a different way. It's cheaper, but it takes a bit longer. It's do it yourself through trial and error. You will learn exactly same, but you might spend a little bit more money on that. But there is no way that we're advertising here any courses. And Liz, thank you so much for telling us about the email marketing today. Absolutely brilliant. Email marketing is there. You just need to know how to use it. And
there you go.
Remember everything. Have a CRM system which you can strategically plan. And if you want to start your own business, or you want to shape your knowledge about the business, make sure that you have a good structure in place through the relevant courses. Thank you so much, Liz, for being here on the Arventa podcast.
Thanks for having me.